Hello and welcome back to Down the Track. We'll be continuing our previews for the IPL teams for the 2021 season. Today we will be previewing the Chennai Super Kings, and who better than Mr. Abraziz, was born in this city. He's really excited, led by MS Dhoni. I don't know if this is his last season. Definitely not. Definitely yes. But they look like a better squad this season. First of all, Abrar, how are you doing?
I'm good. I'm good. I was not
You
looking
must be
forward to
good.
this introduction.
You must be good. We're talking about your home city, man, today. And, last season, I really felt they won't make top four. And I was right for the first time. I make these wild predictions, but I was right for the first time. But this time, it's kind of tricky. I feel they've made some good buys here and there. And they look like a better team than last season for sure. And I'm sure the youngsters have also learned from last season. So they'll come out better as well.
I think I agree with you. I think the likes of I've really been impressed with the way they went out in the auction and bought players. They went all out for a few, and that's their style of playing. You know, Dhoni always expects to have options. So this is one of the teams that has 9 batsmen and 7 bowlers. You know, that's kind of the way Dhoni likes it always. He's not like Virat, who's focused on 5 bowlers and 7 batsmen. He's not like that. He expects kind of all-round performances from his team. And when I was going through the making my top 11, I realized that in my team there are 9 batsmen who can actually bat well, and there are 7 bowlers who can bowl well. So that's my thing. So that's been the key for Dhoni to be successful in the past as well, with the Indian side, with CSK before. And I think last year he missed that because a couple of players last minute kind of backed out, and he had to play with newer players and stuff like that. So that was a little bit of an issue for him. But I think he's gone out there. I mean, the team has gone out there and they've gotten good players, and they have good backups as well. Last time, when they lost a couple of players, they were struggling to make 11 that was experienced. This time around, they've gotten a few good guys, and they have a good team, and they have a couple of good backups that they can rely on. Let's say if one or two of these guys don't work, which is what I thought was amazing.
Yeah, and I think that's the beauty of international sport. I think last season, the problem with all us fans are very impatient. You want results right now, right? But if you look at the long-term future, playing the likes of Ruturaj, Sam Curran, it worked out. Even KM Asif, it worked out in the end because now they're 1 year better, they're 1 year more experienced, and you have the likes of Raina coming back in as well, and you've got buys like Moin Ali, and Pujara's also there, Krishnappa Gautam is there. So you adding better players, and your youngsters have also improved. So it's a good time to have this, and I think looking at a longer term future is a good way to go as well in this league, even though it might not get you the result like in this exact season.
I agree. I think completely agree with you that that is what they went with last season. They realized really quickly that it wasn't going their way.
Yeah.
So they tried out some youngsters and stuff like the likes of.
And he's one of the few people who like admitted openly that we're not going to win this season. It's not like MS Dhoni, but
exactly. And he realized. I mean, he's that kind of a character. He realizes quickly things are not going his way. A couple of things that they tried in the first few games, they lost I think 3 or 4 together in the first part of their. In the starting part of the season, so they realized quickly that this time it's going to be hard because of the likes of the talent and the quality that's available in the other teams. It's smart of him to decide and make that decision and back the youngsters to get that experience in. That will be useful for them in this season. If the need arises for them to come up, they'll be better off. They'll be more experienced and they'll be used better. I think this time around. So it's an interesting. I think Chennai has gone on and had the best window in my personal opinion. I could be wrong, but I think that they've gone out and they bought a couple of guys that they really need to strengthen some areas, and they've gotten the likes of Gautam, the likes of Ali. That's the kind of bowling that Dhoni relies on.
Yeah.
He expects those spinners. He likes those spinners to come on and bowl when it's needed and stuff. So they've gone out and they bought some good guys. They have some good quality players in there, and I think when I have a feeling we'll probably clash a little bit more this time around when we have our top 11. So we'll see how that goes.
Yeah, no, for sure. But I'm not surprised that you really like this team and the mold of it, and that you back it. But quickly, Cheteshwar Pujara, a lot
Trying
of people
to be a good analyst over here.
No, I love it. But Cheteshwar Pujara, everyone has asked me and you, I'm sure a lot of people, like we've also talked about it. Why has he been bought at this auction, as a test cricketer and everything? But to be very honest with you, I don't just see it as an experienced player who think it's on the field. It's also off the field, what he can bring, the inputs, how the planning with MS Dhoni, guiding the youngsters. It's not just technique. It could just be like, talking about his experience in the past Australia tour where he got body blows. How did that feel? That can motivate youngsters, right? Like especially the likes of Rituraj, and there's so many youngsters in this team. So I think just his presence in the squad in training is a big thing. So I think it's a good buy in that way. Whether he's going to start or not, that's a different story. Whether he's like trying to improve his T20 game, shorter format game, we don't know. Personally, I think that if you can play Test cricket, you can play any format. But then yes, you have to adapt to the pace.
I think so. I think of course, I don't think that he's been brought in the hopes that he's going to be, fortunately, because I think that there are players who have proven a little bit more in the T20 format than he has, and with, unfortunately for him, the lack of chances as well. He's been set up as a proper test cricketer, and it's been unfortunate that he's not been able to be part of the T20 setup in the IPL or in the one days in the Indian side as well. But I just think that, like you said, I mean, the experience that he brings to this team will be invaluable. I think that the likes, like you said, just having him around, having such a master around, they have a good crop of youngsters. So having someone like a Pujara, having someone like a Dhoni will always be it will be, like you said, good for youngsters to learn off of. And you never know, like a couple of injuries here and there, and they will need that batting depth. And maybe we might see him come in at number 3 because let's say Raina is completely out of sorts and then not able to perform after a few games. There are these options that you have to have. You have to have a plan A, B, and C. Maybe he fits in a plan C, but they have to have these plans. So yeah, the experience is invaluable, and having depth in the squad is needed. And I think that's one of the reasons that he's been in there. And I'm very happy for him. I'm very, very happy that he gets, although base price, not like someone like a Maxwell who's getting 14-15 crores for doing nothing. You have to give someone a chance. I know I keep bashing Maxwell, and I have a feeling this time he's going to prove me wrong. But I just feel like there has to be some kind of understanding behind it. And giving him 15 odd crores for 3-4 years and not performing just makes me curious as to why that money goes to him and not to someone like I don't want to say Pujara is bad or anything, but I just feel like give other people a chance as well. So I mean, I like that other people are getting a chance. I feel like when the teams increase to 2 more, also I believe that there will be 2 more teams. I think a lot more players will get chance, which is good for cricket, and more competitive, and more players with deserving chances should be getting chances. So I think that's good with the way Pujara's inclusion has hope for some of the guys who've not been selected for the past couple of years and still keep that hope. So that's nice to see.
Yeah, and if Dravid can do it, why can't he? Like he can adjust as well. And just very quickly on the Maxwell thing, I honestly feel that's because also the auction, these were the players available, and from those players you had the money. So all the other teams were trying to raise the price, and that's why they went for that kind of price. If you look at the big auction, when more players go in, then he might not get the same price. So I think that may be the reason. But
I agree. I think it's going to be a very, very interesting big auction when they actually have it, because there's going to be a lot more players to choose from. So if Maxwell doesn't have a good season, if he has a great season this time around, I hope he doesn't, but if he does have a great season this time around, then he might still go for the big bucks, and that will be fair at that time.
Yeah.
So
strengths and weaknesses for Chennai Super Kings.
Like I said, 9 batsmen, 7 bowlers. That's a big strength. They have the depth, they have the quality in like, if a batsman or 2 doesn't fire, they have until the likes of Shardul, who in my team comes in at number 9, that can actually bat well. And if a bowler or 2 doesn't click, they have 2 extra options as well available, which 2 quality bowlers. None of them have to finish their full quota of 4 overs. Everyone can bowl 3 and they can still be done with it. That kind of capability to have that many options is always nice. The experience of MS Dhoni and the captaincy of MS Dhoni is another plus. Weakness, I still think that the batting lineup is a little tad bit weak. I honestly think the likes of
firepower.
Exactly, the firepower missing, especially in the top 4. In my top 4, 3 out of the 4 players don't play regular cricket. So in my top 4, that becomes a little bit of an issue. So it maybe take a little bit time to kind of gel in, and that could be a little bit of a weakness over there. But then they have enough firepower coming in after number 4, 5, and 6, and they have good finishers and stuff like that. So that's my problem, and I feel like in the bowling department as well, they could go for a few runs if they don't keep it tight. Although they have good like I said, a few extra options, but the likes of Chahar and Shardul, they're known to pick up wickets, but they can be a tad bit expensive as well. So
Yeah.
that could be a little bit of a weakness as well. So
Yeah, we saw that in one of the games against Sunrisers where they took out the top order, but then the lower order, they struggled to get them out and they leaked a lot of runs. So I agree with you there. And then let's go with your ideal 11.
Yeah, so for me, I'm starting off with Faf and Raidu as openers. I have Raina at number 3, Dhoni at 4, Moin Ali at 5, Sam Curran at 6, Krishnappa Gautam at 7, Jaddu at 8,
Wow.
Shardul at 9, Thakur at 10, and Josh at 11. Sorry, Shardul at 9, Chahar at 10, and Josh at 11.
Wow.
That's my 11. I'm absolutely open to making changes over here. But I just felt like when I was looking at this team, I like I said, if my top 4 doesn't go all guns blazing, this gives, because they haven't played that much cricket, it gives them the ability, it gives them the license to go all out. And if you lose a couple of wickets early, the likes of Ali, Gautam, Karan, and Jaddu can take over the mantle of scoring the runs. But what is your 11? I feel like you have a bunch of changes.
The reason why I said wow is because you're playing Jadeja days. Them is just stacked. Like, the batting keeps coming and keeps coming. But for me, it's.
I'm open to changes over here.
No, we're not going to change it because Chennai is your team and it's your city.
No. I feel like we should have a different opinion about it as well.
I do have a different opinion, but I kind of like your idea. But I'll go Gaikwad and Faf to open, because I just felt he had a great end to last season and he's a youngster. Why not promote him?
Yeah.
1 down Raina, 2 down Raidu, 3 down Dhoni, then 4 down Jadeja, then Sam Curran, and then Thakur, Deepak Chahar, Hazelwood, Tahir. Because we talked about the bowling. Yes, I know Tahir is getting older, so you can balance it out. But I'm just going this for my first game. I think spin will play a part. He has that experience, and him and Jadeja will complement each other well. And I just feel Jadeja should bat higher. So that's why I'm going a bit like that. I'm giving him more responsibility. And I think Gaikwad, I just feel that he's a youngster. You want to mix youth and experience, so why not, right? That's why I'm gonna go with that.
So no Gautam and Ali for you.
No, surprisingly, because they have so many. They have Bravo as well. They have Moin Ali.
Yeah.
But I'm just going with this because we both mentioned that the bowling could go for runs, and Hazelwood, I think he's an experienced bowler. I don't know how he's going to bowl in the death, but I think he can pick you wickets with the new ball. But I don't think this is the best. It's just my ideal 11. I don't think I think your team is actually stronger now that I come to think of it.
My team, when I was picking this team, I tried very hard to see if I can fit in a death bowler. One, the problem was that there was no real death bowler available except for Bravo. So I went with Karan taking an important part of taking the last couple of overs. Yeah. And 2, I felt like this team gives a little bit more balance in terms of 9 batsmen and 7 bowlers. That's my thing. I think that's the reason I went with it.
I think you sold me, bro, because Moin Ali as well, I really like him. So, you could always get in Bravo for Ali if you need to. You could always switch that around. The all-rounders, you can switch around. That's not an issue. One thing I actually wanted to say that was that this team, I don't think it's going to be one team throughout. Dhoni's going to keep changing it here and there.
Absolutely.
It'll be subtle changes, but there will be changes. It might be like for like. It might not be like for like, but I don't think he'll go with one team throughout.
I agree with you 100%. I think that there's like I said, there is enough players like the likes of Bravo couldn't make my team. The likes of Tahir couldn't make my team, although he made your team. But there are a bunch of options, and maybe they realize very quickly that death bowling is an issue, and they want to bring in another bowler or two. Then they'll have to change this up a lot, But my thing is, because the fact that Gautam can bowl in the power play, Ali can bowl in the power play, that gives them the likes of Chahar, the likes of Thakur and Josh to take over the mantle of death bowling, Karan as well. So I'm just thinking, I'm trying to think like a little bit out of the box with this kind of team over here, because that's kind of how I feel Dhoni thinks. I'm not saying that he's going to go with this team, but I just feel like Dhoni will want those options available to him. And like you said, there will be 1 or 2 changes almost every game, I think, with this team.
And I like that because you're giving Gautam backup in Moin Ali, because they don't have to rely on Gautam bowling all the 4 overs. He can help him out. Moin Ali can help him out, and Jadeja will give you 4 overs more often than not. If not, they can all, even if he needs to be rested, he can be rested like for a couple of overs, so it's not a problem.
And Jaddu can be your floater. You can suddenly send him in a little bit earlier as well if needed to really tonk it around. And that's kind of this has been. I think that the problem with this team the only problem that I have with this team is Jaddu coming down way lower in the order, but I just feel like, it just gives the top order that flexibility to go all out if need be, So that's my reasoning
With
behind
your
it.
team, to be honest with you, you know what I would do? If like later on, I might even open with Karan, with Faf or Karan.
That's
Yeah, I would.
Yeah, that's a possibility. I mean,
Yeah,
you can always chop and change a few things here and there, and that was one of the things that I thought as well. I thought Raidu deserves a chance. That's why I had to put him in
yeah.
there.
No,
But
definitely he
I could,
does. But it's
yeah,
just that they're both similar batsmen. Maybe that's what I was thinking.
I
But
I agree, and maybe even in Moeen Ali to open the batting with Faf, and then you
yeah,
then gives you enough space in the middle to bring in another
yeah.
batsman or another bowler as well.
Yeah,
So
yeah, no, but yeah, I definitely want to see Raidu in my team. I have him two down, but you have opening. I think that works. I think we'll go with your team. To be honest with you, I think it gives you more options, flexibility. But Dhoni will keep changing it. The
I think
player
so too.
player to watch out for you.
Sam Curran, he's
Copying me,
key.
man. Yeah, he's
He's
key.
key to
He's
this team,
Albie
I think.
Morkel of this generation for MS Dhoni.
Yeah,
He's the key,
yeah.
and I just love how Dhoni just molded him into this player, and like you can see that influence of Dhoni already on him. And I
Yeah.
think, yeah, I completely agree with you. He's key. And where is Chennai finishing?
Ah, fourth.
You
I
know,
just I just feel like they will, with this kind of team, they'll make top four, I think.
I think they might win the IPL, but I'm going to say they're going to finish outside the top four. I think they're going to finish outside the
Fair
top four
enough.
because I just feel, like you said, batting power, and they're still developing. They've made some good changes, but then you need that to gel as well. So,
Yeah.
but the thing is, Dhoni is a genius, so I won't be surprised if they do win it or make it the finals. But I'm just going outside the top four, probably like, I don't know, fifth, sixth. But they're definitely a very strong team. A very strong
Yeah,
team.
I think so. I think I agree with you. I just feel like they'll just sneak in top four, I think. I think
But
they
if they
won't
go to
finish
the
the
top four,
point
they'll be very
first and
dangerous
second.
because that
I
guy,
agree. That
the
guy,
and the
he's a baller when it comes to knockout games, man. He just knows how to win
he knows
those
what to do,
knockout
and he
games.
has the players who have the experience as well. So I think
Yeah.
that's going to be key going in. But I think that wraps it up. Any last thoughts? Anything you want to talk about? You want to say anything in Tamil? You want to say talk about Rajnikant?
I,
It's your
I
show
don't
today.
I don't know a word of Tamil, bro. And I and I was born over there, but I've been brought up in Hyderabad. I don't know how many more times I have to say this on these podcasts that I'm a Hyderabad fan. But yeah, I know you're messing with me, but yeah, I think this is a interesting team. I really like to see how they go about the season. And I
Definitely,
have a feeling it might be Dhoni's last season with
definitely
how we
not.
know him as a person. With how we know him as a person, I think that it might be his last season.
If I see an announcement at halfway through that fans are allowed and Chennai making the playoffs, then Dhoni, I think they might just go and win it because it might be his last season, and I think they'll go for it. And to be honest with you, he has that experience. I think in captaincy, still no one can beat him. But his own form and his wicket keeping, I don't know, because you said consistent cricket, right? He hasn't played that. Last season he was okay, but you saw him rusty in the beginning. So I don't know how that's going to go, but you can't take away the captaincy, won't go away from him. So he'll definitely be on top of that. It'll just be interesting to see how he bats and he keeps. And if he can provide the runs, I think he should play freely. He has enough inexperience, he has everything. He needs to play his natural game, bring the Dhoni of 2005, just whack it around and just enjoy it. I think whether they lose or win, it's okay. Like, he's going to be celebrated either way, even if they don't win the trophy.
I think 2005 would be hard for him to come back, and that's why I have him at number 4, because he can really, just kind of construct the innings around. People around him can bat well. I just feel like he can be the pivot to kind of create this, because there's strong players around him to really tonk it around, and he can be the anchor over there. That's the reason I have him at 4. I think anything below 4, there's no point of having an anchor at 5, 6, or 7. You either have your anchor right up the order, or it has to be top 4. Either right after that is not worth it. So that way, even if there's a wicket or two that goes early, he can anchor it around, and the likes of Ali and Karan and Jaddu can come in and really take the score to the next level. And that's just my feeling to keep him at 4. And I just feel like you said, captaincy, he's just too good. Also think that his level of fitness will still be pretty strong, so I'm not too worried about his keeping. But just the kind of maybe the rustiness in the batting will need to he needs to get rid of that quickly, so that he can maybe take a couple of games to settle down, and then really go all out.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that wraps it up. The Chennai Super Kings preview. Some great analysis there from Mr. Abrar Aziz. And thank you so much for joining me. I'll catch you for the rest of the other previews.
Looking forward to it, man.
All right, take care.